Welcome to the 3-Point View, where talking sports and drinking beer is what we do. You met up with me, Brock, Clint, and Brandon to talk about sports and what's going on in sports this week. The big topic on hand of what's going on right now is Ezekiel Elliott and his suspension. Every week it seems like a melodrama for you fantasy owners out there. Will he play? Will he not play? And why does Roger Goodell find the need to attack this man for something that he hasn't been convicted for? Your thoughts, Clint?
Well, with Roger Goodell, we spoke before about him being a warden of a prison and the way he is. I just think you're never going to beat the Shield with Roger Goodell at the helm. And he's getting that extension that's coming up soon. And with that being said, Ezekiel Elliott, I'm glad that this crap is finally over with and he's suspended for the final 6 weeks, which is good for fantasy owners that are in the top.
That aren't
which is
owners of Elliott.
But other than that, I just think Roger Goodell, he's got to go.
I wouldn't say he's got to go. I don't think that he's done a excellent job, but to be put in his shoes and have this task upon you every single day, he has done certain things for the game that actually has made it better. The concussion things that have been coming down on the league itself, that's a tough card to play. They're getting sued, and that I don't even know when it's going to be over. I know it's still going, but it's a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit from ex-players. These are hard issues to handle. It's not something that's just easy. He has made some bad decisions, and I think, are we talking about all suspended players right now? Or are we just talking about Elliott?
We can go into it all.
I think the Elliott move is it's a black eye for the fact. Here's the deal. I can't even say it's a black eye because there has to be some kind of evidence that the public's not seeing. For them to actually keep sticking to this and keep going for it, there has to be something that hasn't been exposed yet. And I'm hoping it comes out just so Goodell isn't labeled this, warden, as you would say. If it doesn't, he's doing his best to get his revenge.
He's done this. He's made it a multi-billion-dollar industry. He's brought it to London. He's brought the Thursday night games, and everything like that. So he's done good in that regard for the financial aspect, the economics.
It's grown from an $8 billion company to a $14 billion.
But when you're doing word association now with the NFL, and what you're doing is you're hearing CTE, you're hearing concussions. You're bringing that. It's a trickle down effect. To the youth. To where people are wanting to put their kids.
Yeah, I've coached football for almost a decade, and I was coaching younger kids, and I was realizing that some of the first year players that you would get would be 7th graders because they were preparing them to go into high school, 6th grade, going into middle school. They didn't want them playing before that because they were afraid of concussions and development of your brains and everything else that can go into it.
Now, granted, the concussion thing aren't Goodell's fault. That's just the sport itself.
That's
the impact of the sport itself.
Yes.
But, the only bad thing that I think he's done is the suspensions, which I think we're going to get into here in a little bit. But, you got your good and bad with any business.
When he came out with the personal conduct policy for the NFL, he said that it was going to be for consistency in suspensions among players. What consistency has this man shown?
There's none.
Little info for you on this one. Josh Brown, kicker of the New York Giants, had multiple incidents of domestic violence. 911 calls on tape after restraining orders have been issued. Multiple. He was initially suspended by old hip jerk Roger Goodell 1 game. Then when everybody's like, he's on tape admitting that he did this,
right.
He said he hit his wife, verbally abused her. Then he got the 6 games. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Adam Pac-Man Jones. He incited a riot, him and Chris Henry.
Left a man
paralyzed. 3 people were hurt, sent into critical care, injured for this. He only got, 3-4 games for that? And then he turned around. They assigned him his own personal bodyguard. Mm-hmm. He attacked the man while he was at the urinal. Have you ever tried to fight while you're at the urinal? What kind of person? Even after that, guess Pac-Man Jones. Let's just do a little. Not 6 games, 4 games. Mm-hmm. Ezekiel Elliott, meantime, 6 games, NFL investigators said, I don't see a reason to follow this. The state of Ohio says there's no reason. If you worked at your job, your girlfriend, wife, came up and said domestic violence, and you were accused of it, would you go to work the next day as long as you weren't in jail?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you were found innocent by the state of Ohio, would you go to work the next day?
Absolutely.
Consistency needs to be shown by an everyday man. If your name's Tom Brady or Ezekiel Elliott, I guess you're on another platform. I guess because you make that money, they can take it away from you just as well. I get that it's the brand, the logo, but it's out of control.
That's him trying to set that example. You know, he's trying to set
The
that
man,
example
the man,
by the name of the player.
the kid,
He
he worked in the mail. He worked in the mailroom. He kissed enough ass to the point where he got to this position.
But you got the Patriots and the Cowboys, right? Two biggest franchises
Right.
right now going. So he's setting that example. You know, the two big names, Ezekiel Elliott and Tom Brady. You know.
I want to say something here. The one thing, if you rewind the clock to before the Goodell era, you could pretty much beat your wife and still play football. There was no standard for it. Okay.
Paul Tagliabue was
So-
the commissioner then, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm just. You can go before Tagliabue. I don't even know how long he was in it. But what I'm saying,
society as a whole has evolved.
they have never had a standard of bringing this kind of punishment down. Okay, he's trying to set the standard. Has he screwed up a few times in the past? Absolutely. I mean, but at this point, I think this is exactly why Elliott's getting it the way he's getting it, is because he has to set a standard. There has to be something set in place.
He can't bend.
No, at this point he can't bend, and I don't, like I said, I wish we knew exactly what evidence wasn't being shared with us.
Right.
But at this point, he apparently feels pretty firm that this is what needs to be done because of the screw ups he's had in the past. Because we got people just like us questioning his actions.
So you have young men who are out there, who are out in the public eye more than ever before. They're always on social media. Every little thing's recorded, so on and so forth. What is stopping any random woman from making accusations to put a player out there? If it just set a standard, you set a precedent that at this point, anybody can go up, make allegations, and then the player can get suspended.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's why.
What's stopping? This is what he's
nothing is
doing by
stopping
saying this, by giving 6 games on someone who's
that's
innocent.
not what he's doing. Because here's the deal. This is what it falls back on again. I want to know what evidence isn't being shared. Anybody could do that. Anybody can come off and say,
punch me in the face.
Big Ben made his way with me in the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just any kind of example. You know, now there has to be some kind of proof to it. In order for them to actually move forward with a suspension, there has to be. Ray Rice, he beat up his girlfriend. Everybody's, oh.
How many games did he get initially?
Okay, yeah. But the moment that video showed up,
Oh, yeah.
holy cow! Okay, now there's some clear evidence, and guess what? In his suspension,
Yeah, but
turned
what
into
do you want? Clear cut
ban.
public?
no,
evidence,
he
or
definitely
just-
doesn't want it in the
I mean,
public.
we're not going to know all this back talk.
He doesn't want it.
You know.
He doesn't want it in the public because he's trying to protect the shield. Okay, but in the same aspect, if he has anything on Elliott right now, and he knows for
Well,
a
he
fact,
probably does.
and he knows
And
for a
that's-
fact,
that's
last thing he
not
wants to
his
do is for the public to get a hold of it before he put some kind of punishment out there. He doesn't want that black eye
And as
again.
far as the concussion thing went, that was coming out anyway. He's just trying to cover his butt as far as what's going on with that.
Well, he's just trying to make sure the league doesn't fold. I mean, there's something like
Like I said,
some
there's good
seriousness
and
to
bad
that.
with Goodell.
Yeah, I honestly don't feel that he's done a terrible job.
No. He's had his
there-
slip ups just like any boss.
I couldn't stand the no fun league we had there
Yeah,
for a
I
while
enjoyed
with the
that.
celebrations.
Celebration.
I'm a big fan of that. That adds entertainment value to the game. When somebody scores a touchdown, T.O. back in the day going and
Chad
stomping
Johnson.
on Chad Johnson, the Sharpie, like the cell phone with what's his name from New Orleans. All that stuff actually it made it a little extra fun. You know what I mean? And when they took that away, I was kind of like bothered by that. But the fact that he actually realized and he learned from his mistakes. Hopefully that's what he's doing. He's learning from his mistakes.
But he's still doing the same thing though.
They're
There's
not,
no
there's-
consistency.
there's
Josh Brown was just last year.
I'm not talking about that. Well, he's still learning from his mistakes on that portion. But what I'm saying is he learned from his mistakes as far as the celebrations.
It would be easy just to put somebody, if something happens on a regular job, until they sort through all the mess, what do? They put you on administrative leave.
Right.
Why doesn't the NFL put you on exempt list or administrative leave until they
It's-
figure it out.
it's called
Why don't they have a
suspension.
board coming together where
Well, they do have an exempt list. They put AP on that.
I get that, but why don't they work? Why does initially he just goes and shoots out that 6-game suspension anymore? Before 2 games for Ray Rice.
No.
Josh Brown admitted what he did.
They need to have a chart. If you do this, you get 2 games. If you do this, you get 6 games. If
So
you're
if
a
you
repeat offender,
if you are found
that's a-
innocent,
that's a
if
standard
you are
that
found
you
innocent
said.
6 games,
what's that?
if you were found innocent 6 games, the state of Ohio said he's innocent.
Well, still, it's still,
You're above the law.
Listen,
That's what Roger Goodell's doing.
How about this? Okay, you're working for the state, all right, and you put something on Facebook, like we were talking the other day. You put something on Facebook. You're not only a representative of yourself, but you're also a representative of the state.
Yeah.
So that's exactly how this is. He might be a representative of himself, but he's also a representative of that company, that business. So him doing what he did, whether he's found innocent or not in the court of law, he's still guilty because he gave a black eye to the league, to the business that he works for.
I do not agree with.
It sucks.
I don't agree with. There's some of these things you say he did that were great. The concussion thing. Whoever was in office, that was going to come to. What is he going to do? Say, no, I like concussions? Yes, he's going to follow
No,
lead
but he's
and
put
go
in
with
the
that.
groundwork to try to.
He
do what
paid
can
off
to
a bunch of guys that are already in early signs of Alzheimer's and dementia.
Yeah, he did.
What he paid off, it was hush money.
Well,
Let's be
not
real
so
here.
not so much that, but look at what he's done as far as the limiting it dwindled down into the youth sports of how to tackle, making equipment better. That's all started from the top. That all started from the NFL trying not to have this carry on into them in the future.
The other
I mean,
thing,
there are a
the
lot
other
of
thing you
groundwork
said he
he has put
did
in.
was he improved football by taking to London Thursday night games.
Which is
I don't
some of the worst
agree that
games
these
ever.
these are the worst games ever.
They can't. Well, this
I
year
want
got
to
better.
gouge
This
my
year's been
eyeballs
better
out.
Are you kidding me
last
right
year.
now? The Thursday night games
This
have
year's
been
been-
incredible
This year, last year, in
What makes
years
what
past,
makes college football and
a
pro
little rough.
football?
Now the London
It's the
games,
exclusiveness to it.
the London games have been really bad.
You know in football that it's Sunday or it's Monday.
Yeah.
And that build up is what makes it. What destroys baseball? The dog days of summer, June, July.
Too much.
It's too much.
It's too much. Yeah.
You got
You
Derek
wanna
Jeter
win
playing
one
200
for
games
more.
a year for 20 years.
Yeah.
No.
You know what I mean? Like after a while, by July, you're just like, I don't even know who's in first place.
Well, when you got college football all day Saturday, then you got football all day Sunday, then you got football again on Monday, then you got to turn around and got football again on Thursday, then 2 days later it's
I'm
college
not,
again.
I'm not gonna lie.
Now,
I like the Thursday night games. I
I like them
have,
too,
I
because
have
something to
a,
look for at the end of the week.
yeah, because Thursday pretty much stinks. Like
I don't like the London games.
Monday
The
stinks.
9:30
I'm at
games.
work all day.
Are they
dreading
trying?
going.
Are they
I got
trying to
something
put
look
the
forward to.
worst possible games in London?
No.
That Minnesota Cleveland game made me want to gouge my eyes
Well,
out.
see, they put Cleveland over there. They put Jacksonville over
What was
there.
the one with the
They
Dolphins?
may, they may
Where
The
have.
Ravens.
Was it the one where Jay Cutler lined up in the Wildcat and didn't even he just stood there like
wide
he was
receiver.
annoyed, like
Right.
why am I even doing this? Why am I even in London? Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
So with all these suspensions, let's talk about Mr. Suspension. We know him as Josh Gordon. In 2014, he led the league in receiving yards. Cleveland has no pulse right now. Cleveland is the closest thing to a high school team I've ever seen at this point. They have guys that don't even have real names. Ricardo Lewis, Daniel Trent. Who are these people? I have no idea who they are. They have not one person who can separate on offense. The person who makes the most big plays is Duke Johnson, and that's off broken plays. Josh Gordon is going to come back, but prior to coming back, what did old Josh Gordon, Mr. Suspension, tell GQ magazine?
He came off and told them that he had a pregame ritual that, and it didn't matter what he was doing, but he would either A, take a shot of some whiskey, B, drink a little beer, roll up and smoke a little doob. He did it before every game, okay?
Cocaine or syrup.
However you want to take it. Now, I've heard a lot of other sports analysis sit there and say that if they were actually playing in the NFL, they would want to have a clear mind about what they were doing. And I'm not one to sit here, and this is going to revert back to what we were talking about earlier with your higher up and this and that. Certain teams, like, let's go Denver, okay? In the state of Denver, marijuana is legal, all right? So,
Denver City.
Denver is a city. We'll go with Colorado.
Okay, Colorado. Sorry, I spoke wrong.
I think somebody just got back from Denver.
But either way, what I'm saying is, it's not an enhancement drug.
No,
Okay.
not at all.
And
It's an
I'm-
enhancement.
You would think. I don't know many people that are like, let's smoke a doobie and go out and get active.
Just smoke this pot and go work out.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that often.
No.
But what I am going to say, it's now back to what I was thinking. If I were playing wide receiver and there were going to be linebackers wanting to murder me, and I am the best player on my team, I know I'm going to get plenty of targets. I think it's not a bad idea to get a little numb before I go out there. And I don't think that we should bring Johnny Manziel back. I don't care, let him drink if he doesn't stink.
What about Joe Namath?
That's my opinion. It's
Joe
a little
Namath
weird.
brought
Oh,
the
you know
NFL
he was doing stuff,
He brought
man.
the NFL to prominence back in the day.
Wearing his thigh
He was
highs
wasted.
and-
He's still wasted. He's trying to get with reporters on the sideline. I just want to kiss you right now.
Susan
Is what
Colbert.
remember when he said that?
Yeah.
So
Susan
this
Colbert
is who our fathers wanted to be. He was a badass motorcycle riding, drinking quarterback. He woke up. He was as long as he was there on Sunday at 1.
Woo!
They just watched the Ric Flair 30 for 30 on the mothership.
Love
And
you,
they were a
Rick.
little hyped up about that.
Love you, Rick.
So anyway, what they fail to realize is marijuana in the inner city, where a lot of these players come from, is a normality. It's looked at.
It's like smoking a cigarette.
It's like smoking a cigarette. At some point, they even look at weed as being better for you than smoking cigarettes.
It is.
They do not take a consensus of the inner city. They got white, privileged owners who their whole lives have been in this society where marijuana and everything like this isn't even a question.
Well, they're on yachts and drinking champagne
Or unless you're Jim Irsay,
or him.
you're getting toasted and get to shoot off at anything. There's no personal conduct for Jim Irsay.
Oh yeah, that is
Offensive
right.
line
A few years
coach.
back.
Dolphins
Yeah.
offensive line coach.
I didn't like that. They should have fired him. Goodell should have got in that. They let him resign, just like walk away quietly. We haven't heard anything.
Right.
About it.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
It doesn't
But
make sense.
Him and Richie Incognito will be
Well, I'm
back
gonna
next
swear. I
year.
want to turn this around.
Yeah, I want to
I
swing
want
it
to talk
again
about
the other
Lawrence
way.
Taylor.
LT.
All right. Talk about Lawrence Taylor and
Don't
talk
do
about
crack.
Josh Gordon and admitting to doing drugs and alcohol and all that cocaine before the game. Now, he's not gonna do. Lawrence Taylor's not gonna smoke pot for the game. Now, if he did, he did. But he's a cocaine. He's coming at you. He's coming to break your leg. He's coming to
Rear it
spear
up.
you. He's coming to do anything
I'm a
possible
crazy dog.
to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
And so with him doing that, that's a different
Cocaine
cycle
is more of
for
a
a defensive man
enhancing.
because you're
That's
going-
an
you're
enhancing
going to
drug.
hit
Like you're,
somebody, you know?
yeah,
Like,
it's
he's gonna drink alcohol, do cocaine, and what does alcohol and cocaine mix kind of do to somebody who's especially doing something physical like football?
makes him an asshole.
Makes him asshole, makes him angry. He played with such an edge,
Yeah,
such an
absolutely.
edge. But he admitted to
Absolutely.
doing that stuff before the games as well.
Okay, I'm gonna say this: kids, don't do drugs.
And we-
1, 2, Josh Gordon, don't do drugs.
Is
The
Josh
Browns need you. 3, Josh Gordon, do not turn into Martavius Bryant. Realize the Browns have stuck by you this entire time. Do not turn into some jerk face who wants traded. Stick it out, whether they stink or not. Let them start building around.
I've noticed this in society. American public is forgiving.
They love
You know when they
comeback
don't like
stories.
you? When you have a gift and you shit on it.
Yeah.
When you have a gift and you shit on it, you give up. Johnny Manziel is hated. Why? He's been given a God-given gift and he shit on it. Meanwhile, if you just step up, say I messed up, and you try again, you stand up as a person and show some bit of character. John Daly has fallen off the bus
Oh, he's
150
beloved.
times. He is beloved, but why? Because he has faults.
Yeah.
We all have faults. We all do bad things. But when you sit there and lie to me about it when we know you're doing it, Johnny,
Right.
we know you're doing it. So I get it. Josh Gordon came upset in GQ. I did this before every game, so on and so forth. I don't know. At this point,
now it's done and over. You know,
at this
done and
point,
over. He said he's
bottom
gonna
line,
resign.
is he a productive receiver in the NFL again, and does he stick with the Browns?
Well, put it this way: when he was productive with the Browns in 2013, when he led the league, it was like 1,600 yards and some odd double-digit touchdowns, 9 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns. His quarterback was Brandon Whedon. All right. Now, not saying that the Browns have Brandon Whedon caliber quarterback because
They have
kinda
something
do.
better than Cal.
It was
But Deshaun Kaiser's got a rocket
He's got an
for
arm.
an arm.
It was Brian Hoyer was
Yeah.
the majority of that year when he had
And
69 yards.
Hoyer there.
But, hey,
that's
Brian
why
Hoyer-
he had another shot. To
Brian Hoyer was the quarterback in 2014. Brandon Whedon was the 2013 quarterback when he put up those.
Who knows? There was 10 quarterbacks in 2013. It's the Browns. They start how many different quarterbacks?
You would
every year?
think maybe Derek Anderson.
Yeah.
You know, you think numbers, but he
Yeah.
was the quarterback from 06 to 09 with Braylon Edwards.
I just think to wrap this up, I think the only reason he's saying it was Brandon Whedon because Josh Gordon, Brandon Whedon. Anyway, we'll be right back at you with 3-point view after this. All right, you're back with the 3-point view. We're talking sports and drinking beer is what we do. And we're talking back about Colin Kaepernick. He's been sitting around for a long time. Is he a lefty, Brandon?
No.
He's not a lefty, is he right? Anyway, so he's out there on the market.
He is a lefty.
He is a lefty.
You're right. Go ahead.
You got the jersey. Your whole family has the jersey.
Yes.
His Christmas card is what, 2 years ago?
It was.
The whole family Kaepernick jersey.
Yeah,
on?
okay.
Maybe this year you guys can take a knee. Anyway, so from there, multiple teams in the NFL are struggling with quarterbacks. There's quarterbacks out there that you probably never even heard of. Cody Kessler, who's C.J. Beathard.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
It sounds like a name
Ryan
from downtown.
Fitzpatrick still has a job.
And everybody,
He's starting-
you know what they
he's
say?
starting this
You know
week.
what they say about Ryan Fitzpatrick? Well, did you know what he got on the Wonderlic test?
Who cares?
Ben
He is
Roethlisberger. Ben
smart.
Roethlisberger, I think, got
Yeah.
6 on the Wonderlic
Do you know
test.
what he got on the football field test?
He's had good years.
He went to
He's
Harvard.
not a
Yeah,
great quarterback.
1.5 good
He's
years.
not a great quarterback.
1.5 good years. And he's starting this year. Or this Sunday.
This Sunday.
Against
So-
McCown. Former team.
But there, you got Tom
So
Savage,
So Kaepernick is meeting up with the NFL to talk about
Brett Hundley.
options and what they're doing. He's saying there's collusion against him. At what point does Kaepernick come back to the NFL, or does he ever come back to the NFL?
There's only 2 ways about it. He can either go to the Houston Texans or a team that needs a quarterback, or he could just go
And it
to
would-
like his Muhammad Ali route. And
And here's the deal.
Muhammad Ali came back.
yeah, but
Was it-
that's different though. That was back then. This is nowadays.
Bob McNair made a statement that completely pissed off his entire team.
So you really think he's gonna come there?
No, listen.
Oh, I see where he's going.
Why you always gotta cut somebody off, okay? He made a statement that completely pissed off his entire team. Can't let the inmates run the asylum.
I get it.
Alright, so if you want to try to rectify your image, because honestly, if you do a little research on Bob McNair, you're gonna find out he's done a lot for minorities, a lot for black communities, but you don't hear about those things, okay? And it is what it is. But if you want to rectify the situation that you've put yourself in, Mr. McNair, I would get rid of this Tom Savage guy.
And if you want to rectify the season.
And oh, absolutely. I hate to say it. I don't think Cap. Yeah, and it hurts me to say it because I did love him when he was in San Fran. He did some great things while he was there. I don't think he's a system quarterback. When you and I have had this conversation in the past, he is a systems quarterback, but he is way more similar to Watson than Tom Savage. And we've seen what that offense was with Watson. And with that offense now, what it is with Tom Savage is crap.
Savage is like Fitzpatrick.
I'd rather have Fitz
over.
Okay, but
Fitz-
still,
Fitz-
I get what you're
regard,
saying.
are you
And
really gonna rectify the season? with Savage?
another thing I want to say, Green Bay. Do you not remember this man running for 181 yards against you? Do you not remember this man shredding you up in the playoffs? What are you doing? Like, you have a team that isn't terrible, that isn't in the strongest division ever.
But think about it. They don't want that attention, and they don't want to
I
like
get
give
it.
that idea for
Dude,
Aaron
that's why
Rodgers. What they're talking
everybody-
about now is Aaron Rodgers going elsewhere.
He ain't
All
going
right, get out of
nowhere,
Green Bay,
man.
Andrew Luck, get out of Indianapolis.
So-
Luck needs to
stuff
get
like
out
that.
of Indy. I agree with that.
But
Can the Green Bay Packers, if Colin Kaepernick said, "I made my point," issue a statement?
well, he said
Five-
he said
five-
he would stand.
5-week contract, $5 million, $1 million a game. make in
I
that
think
week
that's
in that week division.
I think that's steep.
Yeah, I would
$5
say
million,
500,000 a game.
That's some Roger Clemens stuff. Bring it to the NFL.
He ain't Roger.
He's not Roger
I
Clemens.
get that, but you're not going 500 with Brett Hundley.
He's not.
that's
Yeah,
his name.
he's not going to Green Bay. If anywhere, he's going to go to the Texans. You know, you can either go one or two ways.
And whatever happened to Denver?
Rectify the
Does
season.
anybody remember Denver trying to trade for Kaepernick a few years ago? What do you got going on there?
Right.
You got Paxton with a bum shoulder. You got freaking.
Well, think about it. If they bring in Colin Kaepernick after drafting Paxton Lynch, where they drafted him, bring
Okay,
him back.
I'm not
Brock
saying he's the
Osweiler to
permanent
assist-
fix,
No,
but I'm
no,
saying
I
he's
know.
better than
I know you're not
Osweiler.
saying that, but bringing back Osweiler, drafting Paxton Lynch where they drafted him. Trevor Siemian winning the starting job 2 years in a row out of nowhere out of Northwestern. First starting quarterback, by the way, ever out of Northwestern. So, yeah. But anyways, you're not going to bring Kaepernick in there to the quarterback room with 4 people now. And then you're going to create a whole bunch of drama that's going to surround John. John Elway don't want that.
Are they
want
paying
that.
Osweiler anything? Is he double dipping right now?
I don't know if Osweiler.
If the Cleveland Browns are already kneeling and everybody hates them already, what's the worst thing about bringing
I
Colin
think
Kaepernick?
me personally, I think they
Kaepernick
should bring
still isn't going to
Kaepernick
be
back.
effective in Cleveland.
I mean,
Cleveland has no
Kaepernick-
weapons.
Bring Kaepernick
With
team
Josh
him up with
Gordon back?
Team him up with Gordon. Bring a little
It'd be a
bit.
nice
I would-
storyline.
I would go all in. I would go all in. I would call Pittsburgh. I would get Martavius Bryant for a 2nd round pick. I would get Josh Gordon. I would hire Chris Carter
deadline's
as a
fast, so you
consultant,
ain't getting
and I'd have Colin Kaepernick. Cleveland would be relevant again. Right now, Cleveland's about to fall off the map. They would actually talk about Cleveland on SportsCenter.
And they're going to keep Joe Thomas. He's not going to go. They just signed
Those
him for a high
jersey
contract.
sales.
Only Cleveland
Ticket
re-signs a guy who's been in the league 12 years or whatever.
But he's
for the
solid.
most. He's solid.
He's solid.
They're idiots.
And his injury wasn't to his legs; it was to his arm.
You paid them for what they're going to produce, not for a lifetime achievement award.
Yeah, but we've always had a problem in Cleveland with
But
quarterbacks.
hold on.
And
Here's
you're
the
protecting that
deal
blind
with the
side.
Lifetime Achievement Award that you just said. That sends a statement to other players about what the organization feels about their players.
Pittsburgh drops everybody the minute they go down any.
So
the
New
year
England.
before their
So does New
contract.
England. So does New England. But
what
here's
does
the
that
deal.
mean?
They
keep
don't.
winning.
They don't have that. Cleveland doesn't have that winning persona.
Anyways, we're getting off topic here.
That's
So-
what we do.
We're getting off the lifetime achievement award here. So Kaepernick either to the Texans or to the Packers. Great situations. You got 2 playoff teams, potential playoff teams that
Texans
can
would
go
be
far.
better.
That
But
can
they
go far.
have.
That have
There's an
weapons.
out route for the Packers. 5 games, $5 million. Aaron Rodgers comes back. The man is back in town.
Right.
You're a Super Bowl contender.
Right.
Who in the NFC right
But-
now is
but-
even going to contest
But
that?
you also got to think though, Aaron Rodgers, his surgery with the screws were to his throwing shoulder.
Last time he came back
it was
in
to
the
his
same
throwing
amount of time.
shoulder. The other one was to the opposite.
Yeah, it was
arm.
opposite side.
So,
It's Aaron Rodgers.
anyways,
So-
speaking of shoulders,
Let's talk about who in the NFL is going to be that savior next year to bring these teams back. There's a lot of players out there in the draft.
That's fine.
He didn't catch it.
There's a lot of players that. Oh, we're talking about Andrew Luck.
That's
Andrew
where I
Luck.
thought we were going.
Okay, so my bad. Andrew Luck, bad shoulder. Is everything okay with Andrew Luck?
I hope so. I truly hope so. I obviously don't know. They haven't released much information about it. You got the owner Ursay sitting there saying that it's all in his head, and I mean, the fact that they're putting him on the IR and he's not playing this year, it sends some serious concern. I wish somebody would interview him just to kind of find out where he is with this situation. If they have, I haven't seen the interview. I don't know. If he can get back to what he was, he would be a great quarterback anywhere he goes. I think he needs to get the heck away from Indy. When you have the owner sitting there saying that your injury is in your head, and they never built up a team around him. You have what?
They
He's
just
probably
released
the
Vontae
greatest
Davis.
prospect coming out of college since Peyton Manning, and they gave him nothing. No protection, no line, no weapons really. I mean, they literally threw him out on the field, and they were hoping he was going to be Aaron Rodgers.
I think it's good for Luck not to come back. I think it's
Right
good
now.
for him to be in the IR because if it's in his head, like Ursay's saying it's in his head, and as an athlete, if something happens to you and it's in your head,
And
your
you come out with a
your
bum
confidence,
team, and you're gonna be way worse.
your confidence is going to be shot. You're not going to be the same Andrew Luck that you are back there in the pocket or
Especially
running,
if your team
you know,
sucks.
on some bootlegs or anything like that, because you're going to worry about that hit. You're going to worry. You're going to be very hesitant, you know. And
There's this thing that I don't notice in the NFL is with what people don't get. They think that ever since Adrian Peterson, that most people can return from a major injury the next year.
He's a freak.
He's a freak.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. Anybody's ever had an injury as far as that goes, if you look at through time, it takes 2 years. They cut Adrian James, they thought he was
Teddy's
done.
coming back.
They cut Adrian James back in the day
Bridgewater.
because he couldn't cut anymore.
No.
It was that second year he went to Arizona, he had a good career after that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, give it some time. You've
Yeah.
invested all this money, invest in a line.
I see.
You're going to get a great pick with now that he's been gone. Pick up a lineman.
right.
Pick up, trade for him. I don't care. Protect him. And at the same time, he has to realize that Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, all of them, what did they have to do? Defer a contract, restructure a contract for protection. Aaron Rodgers and Andrew Luck are getting paid so much money that with the way the cap is and everything, there's no way that they
They're
can.
limited.
Yeah, so they're basically being sunshine off. Remember the Titans bring the blitz and playing okie doke on them to try to get the pass off.
I
I'm
think
just
Jim
saying.
Irsay wants to be Jerry Jones, like to the fullest.
He's like the Midwestern white trash Jerry Jones.
Yeah, he is. He's such a dirtball sometimes. But yeah, if it's in your head and you're going back there for a pass, you're doing a little, you know, you're going to throw a bomb, right? Go to throw a 40-yard bomb, and you're standing in the pocket. You're going to flinch, and that 40-yard bomb's going to go short because you're scared, or it's going to go out of bounds, or it's going to sail long. You know, either or. It's not going to be precision. It's not going to be pinpoint because you're going to be back there flinching because you don't have full confidence in yourself with that throw, let alone taking the hit. So it's good for him to be on IR right now.
On the other hand, there's a guy that's been out there, has played about 150, I don't know how many games now, Eli Manning. Eli Manning, just like his brother, for years and years and years, has not missed a game.
Well, he's about to tie his brother this Sunday.
Is he? So, do you keep Eli or do you trade him?
I think you keep Eli for the 206th game to tie his brother. Let him break it or tie it, either or. If you want to go sentimental.
Wins?
No.
No.
Game started.
Game started.
Consecutively.
Still not going to break
So-
Brett Favre's record.
But they want to get rid of him, right? No one's going to break Brett Favre's record. They want to get rid of Eli Manning. I mean, they're 1-7. All right. So, are you going to show Eli the respect and take the hit on the cap and either release him, or are you going to try and trade him? I mean, because you're not going to get too much for a 37-year-old quarterback.
Where does he go? Where does he go right
There's
now?
only
That makes
one
the team
place.
automatically viable.
One place.
Where?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Period. With that defense, that
Arizona.
running back,
Receivers.
those receivers, that's it. It is what it is.
Tom
Coughlin
is.
Well, you have that connection there.
Yeah.
But you also have Bruce Arians in Arizona.
Arizona.
Who's very good with older quarterbacks. Name them. Kurt Warner, Carson Palmer. You know,
I think you go Jacksonville. Right
Jacksonville's the best fit.
Jacksonville for sure. If they
Jacksonville's
would
the best
trade
fit
for that.
for him.
And they just got Marcel Darius.
Is the fact that Eli Manning being so lackadaisical with his personality and everything, his short memory, has that made him a great quarterback? He can get his bell rung, not even care.
You know, he's a ninja when it comes to hiding.
He's as
you
cool
know,
as the other side of the pillow. I've never seen anybody.
A little Stuart Scott reference. I just
Eli. Really?
not so much Kung Fu Ninja as in, you know, you're able to
More like
hide
a
your,
drunken
you're able to
ninja.
hide your emotions. You know, if you stab a ninja with a samurai sword, you're not gonna see his face go wow.
He has some
hides
of the
his
same
emotions.
facial expressions.
He's got some ugly facial expressions.
He's got the same
They're
facial
bad.
expressions as Jay Cutler. The only difference is he's won Super Bowls.
Eli's an average quarterback to me. He's not even top 20 all time.
There's a big difference between average and top 20. He's a good quarterback.
He's
He's
a good quarterback,
He's
but
good.
he's not a great quarterback. And nor would you start a franchise with him. Either one of you would start a franchise with Eli Manning. Would you?
He's top 15.
Would you start a franchise with him is the question.
That's a good question.
It's a very easy question. No.
No, he's right.
No.
He's better than every quarterback I think in the draft this year.
Oh, I'd take him over anybody coming in.
Brock,
Anybody
that has
coming in?
nothing to do with it. Would
Yes,
you start?
it is.
Would you start a
What are they doing?
Would you start a
What are-
franchise
no,
with
hold
Eli
on.
Manning?
Time out, slow it down. They're starting franchises with these quarterbacks. Who are
I would
coming in.
start Josh Allen on a franchise.
Josh
than I
Allen's
would
got a
Eli
guy, but
Manning.
he's also unproven.
Listen, Eli.
I know what Eli
And
can
Eli
do.
Manning was unproven too, coming out of Ole Miss. Ole Miss. Eli Manning was. If you put Eli Manning in this draft with the class now that they have, right? Put Eli Manning
He's better
in
than
this
every
class.
one of them.
Okay, why? Because you've seen him. You've seen what he's done in the NFL. You already have these images of him in your
it's
head.
experience.
All right.
It's experience. It has nothing to do with.
I would not. I didn't like Eli coming out of Ole Miss. But if you have Ole Miss, Eli Manning, Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, well, I'm just saying, the quarterbacks that are coming out, and Josh Rosen, who are you going to pick? Not knowing anything.
Kenny Hill.
Not knowing anything.
I'm taking Kenny Hill.
I like Kenny Hill.
I like the
TCU.
thrill kill.
Baker Mayfield.
You know, but his dad was a pitcher for the Indians. You know that?
Baker
What was his
Mayfield.
dad's name?
Baker Mayfield's Mark Sanchez 2.0.
Who's his daddy?
Ken Hill. Ken Hill, number 44, pitcher for the Indians.
Just wanted
So-
to get it out there.
Yes, no. Ready? Baker Mayfield.
No.
Josh Rosen.
No.
Sam Darnold.
Nope.
Josh Allen.
Yep.
Why Josh Allen?
Josh Allen's mobile. He's got a gun, and he's got that instinct to him.
Do you think he's ready now, though?
Right now, no. Give me a year.
I think in a certain situation a player's put into,
Why are you gonna give him a year?
it's-
This is gonna go to another.
Because he's in Wyoming.
I'm not saying that, but give him a year. Why? Because he needs to fit what?
No. Give me a year because he needs to learn the plays and the speed of the
Learn the plays
NFL.
of what?
Learn the plays and
Of
catch
a
up to the speed of the
system.
NFL. It's not about the system.
Of a
It's not about the system.
I feel
You could be in the system, but if you can't improvise.
Carson Wentz came from a similar background as far
Wentz
as
is
college
right.
football, right? But
Dog.
he was thrown in a situation where you had
Right,
great
but he ended
quarterback
up
coaches.
he ended up 500 at the end of the year,
Yeah.
touchdown, interceptions, right? And Josh Allen would too. But if he lands in a situation like Carson Wentz landed into, that'd be great for Josh Allen. And it ain't New York because the lights are too bright.
What would
Philly
New York?
Philly is one of the most brutal places you can
Yeah,
play.
but if you show that blue collar attitude in Philly, they'll accept you.
So we're saying
Philly's only accepting you if you're doing well. If you're not doing well,
No.
Philly booed Santa Claus. Like, how do you boo Santa Claus? Like,
by projections, about 3 of these guys are going to go in the first round. Who are they?
jeez.
You know Darnold is because it's the
Yeah.
popular one, and Rosen's the next one.
I don't like any of them. I don't.
Baker Mayfield probably second round, maybe late first, depending on who it is that's picking out there. Probably Cleveland.
What about a man named J.T. Barrett?
JT Barrett. ain't
He'll be a wide receiver.
My question to you guys is, I have a personal theory that J.T. Barrett, who got pulled over for a DUI last year, I think he's fallen off the wagon. I think J.T. Barrett
J.T. Barrett drinking again?
does amazing things
Is
and
he
sometimes
smoking
falls.
weed before the games?
No, I'm not saying smoking weed. I'm saying if you look at his level of consistency, he does epic things. His comeback against Penn State, epic.
He probably got trashed, right?
He had the week of his life. He's the top. What happened against Iowa? He throws for it. There's the swing of
Right,
JT
right.
Barrett is off the charts. It's that of an addict or alcoholic. I'm not saying he is,
Right.
but if it came out later that he said some Josh Gordon
Wouldn't be
stuff,
surprised.
I would not be surprised in the
Right.
least. I'm saying he went in 1 week's time. He went from Heisman hopeful to
Heisman dumpster.
Get this guy out of here. He just screwed up their whole season.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, he reminds me of a Chase Daniel Part 2.
Reminds me of Mark Sanchez.
I've been saying Sanchez too.
Josh Rosen,
Dude,
is
USC quarter, they're like all the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Carson Palmer's
Same number.
Carson Palmer's a good
Same hair
quarterback.
length.
So, what else do we have to say about quarterbacks?
Basically, don't start a franchise with Eli Manning.
Do you start real fast? You started.
I got a question for you.
Right.
With the way the season's going in Jacksonville, because we both come to
I would
agreement-
trade for Eli.
Hold on, but I'm just saying the way everything's going, since we both come to terms, it's probably we all three have come to terms. It's probably the best fit for him.
Yeah.
The way Blake Bortles have been playing, do you?
Which
do you,
hasn't been bad. This
I-
year.
no,
I-
you
I-
still make
I'm
the
s-
move
I'm
and
sold.
pay that money for Eli to come.
I'm sold.
don't.
I'm sold.
I
He
don't.
convinced me. I believe Eli would be a great fit in Jacksonville.
Okay.
I didn't even think of that before I came in. I'll admit.
I think
he's a great fit. Tom Coughlin knows.
I think the
idiosyncrasy.
Coughlin relationship, and knowing the fact that Eli only has maybe
But are,
2, 3,
but another
4
thing too, are
years
we
left.
hopping on the Jacksonville bandwagon?
Jacksonville's defense?
But listen, Blake,
You got on.
I know.
Who hoards 3 defenses? He's holding all the
I don't
defense.
think
I
so.
hate him.
I don't look.
I need.
follow me.
I got
Anyways,
crazy.
I think we might be hopping on a bandwagon.
On a last note, speaking of saving the franchise, is Jimmy Garoppolo the guy in San Francisco, or just another name on the list?
Ooh. Go ahead, you're San Fran. Go ahead, you're first.
He's gonna. From Kyle Shanahan made a comment today that he is going to play this weekend. He's not going to start, but he's looking for him to get some playing time.
You know why? Because they're gonna be getting blown the hell
Not
out.
against the Giants, they're not.
Watch.
Dude.
Because Eli Manning's on that team.
The Niners beat the Giants this weekend, and I'm looking straight at the camera. The Niners beat the Giants this weekend. I don't want them to ruin Jimmy. Find out what you got in them, but this offseason, get some help. And I mean, a wide receiver, get another running back. Shanahan, I know you like the 2-back systems. Soup up the defense. Patch all the holes.
I'm still on the fence as far as Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, same here.
We'll be right back at you with 3-Point View after this. Welcome back to the 3-Point View. We're talking sports and drinking beer is what we do. And what we're talking about right now is LeBron James has just amassed about 29,000 points now. He's on the scoring list. He's also at the same amount of games right now as Michael Jordan played his career. My question to you, Clint, is where do they match up?
They match up. If you want to go to the accolades and the achievements, Michael Jordan at this point in his career is more. He has more achievements than LeBron James. He's more accomplished than LeBron James at this point. But when it comes to comparing Jordan to LeBron, there's no comparison in the regard of the eye test of Michael Jordan is the
Success.
greatest of all time, right? But LeBron is the nowadays version of Michael Jordan. And there's no question about it. I mean, the younger kids nowadays that are getting drafted and growing up look up to LeBron. Our generation, maybe a little bit older, and maybe 30-ish in that range, they looked up to Michael Jordan. So that eye test says Michael Jordan's the greatest. This one, the younger generation, LeBron James is the greatest. But that's the era that we grew up in. Now, when it comes to the accolades and the accomplishments and achievements, Michael Jordan is well beyond LeBron James.
The fact that we're even comparing him to Michael Jordan
is a great,
It's a
great
story in
accomplishment.
itself.
it's a story in itself.
Because we thought Kobe was going to be there.
It's a story in itself. So, is LeBron top 5 of all time?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is he? Who would be your guys' top 5?
Go ahead.
Okay, timeout. If you're a viewer that is going to talk about Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell and all that, this is the wrong show for you.
There's no
We're
Will
talking-
Chamberlain and Russell watching this. They don't even know how to work. the
Okay,
internet.
so my point is,
They're
don't be that guy who said back when Julius Erving played for the '76 Squires. No,
We'll go post.
post
80.
1985. Let's go there. All right, go ahead, Brandon.
Oh,
Top 5.
It doesn't have to be by statistical. Whatever
Yeah.
your favorite is.
5 favorite
my
players.
favorite or
The 5 best
five
players. Best.
Because I mean, I love Malone. I love Barkley. There's quite a few guys that are
But,
quite
hey,
personal.
that's good.
I'm not gonna say they're the best though. Let's see. Best that I'm gonna go with best that I've actually witnessed. Jordan is there. You got LeBron. It's hard to phase out people like Shaquille O'Neal, Hakeem Olajuwon. I'm trying to think here. Who else could I throw in? Just a top off.
Kobe.
Yeah, Kobe definitely should. He belongs
Is
in there.
LeBron past Kobe at this
Yeah,
time?
I think so.
Even though he doesn't have the 5 rings.
Here's the deal with the 5 rings. Kobe, the first couple he kind of rode a coattail of a gentleman I just mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not saying that Kobe couldn't accomplish this if he wasn't there or throughout his career, but it happened with Shaq. Okay, Shaq left there. and one without Kobe.
Kobe also won 2 without Shaq.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying.
Okay, so we put together a list here. We're talking LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Is Magic on there? Magic Johnson.
See, you're comparing different eras at this point, and
Well, that's post 80.
it
Post
is.
80s.
It is. I feel like LeBron almost replaces Magic.
So we're talking Mount Rushmore. LeBron is replaced. I feel he's, as far as small forward, ESPN's already said he's the #1 small forward over Larry Bird of all time.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Wow.
Oh yeah.
How did I?
Larry Bird has no injuries. Do we say this?
Larry
Well, Bird
we
didn't-
can't. We can't.
Larry Bird's career
it's
was
the
cut
unknown.
short,
It's-
back
we-
problems,
we
because of the way he
can't-
played.
But we can't do hypotheticals.
Right.
You know, so we have to go with what we
What
see.
actually?
You know what actually
What
happened, the facts. And even though Bird was injured, LeBron wasn't injured. He's never had no like major injury like Bird with his back. So my top 5 would be Jordan, LeBron. I love Scottie Pippen. He's a
Pip.
I love Pippen. He plays defense. He played
Oh,
offense.
man.
He was solid. He even took him to the Eastern Conference Finals the year Jordan retired.
I love
And
Pip.
then came back. So we got LeBron, Jordan, Pippen. It's a toss-up between Malone and Duncan at the power forward spot, and then Shaquille O'Neal. And if you want to run a point guard,
AI?
I mean,
No Magic.
I wouldn't say AI. I would say Magic.
Magic.
I would say Magic at the point guard position.
So you went with the starting 5. I just went with
I'm
players.
just going my
So I
top.
went with
My
starting
top.
five,
My top.
5.
Got you.
My top 5 go like this. Michael Jordan's #1.
Yeah.
I believe LeBron, when it's all said and done, will be a close, not close, but #2. Kobe Bryant was a bad man. He's
Oh,
the
yeah.
closest thing to Michael Jordan you're ever gonna get.
Yeah.
Still not Michael Jordan. He's a poor man's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
#4, I'm gonna go with Magic Johnson. #5, Larry Bird.
Yeah.
With those 5 guys on that list right there,
I like his list better than mine.
with those 5 guys right there, you have so many championships, you have so many iconic moments right now, you can't deny it.
You can flip Pippen and Bryant. Bryant is the closest thing ever to Jordan.
His killer
When it comes-
instinct.
The killer instinct, his body language, his just the
Just
look on his
personality.
face,
Yeah.
personality, everything about Kobe Bryant screams Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Everything. Alright. Now, with that being said, I just want to bring this up. What did Bobby Knight? You were talking about this earlier.
Okay,
What
there's a
happened
story
with
out
this?
there that I watched recently. I guess Bobby Knight coached the '84 Olympic team. With that being said, GM of the Portland Trailblazers had the #2 pick in that draft the year Michael Jordan was drafted. He called up Bobby Knight because he said, "You've seen every one of them play. You're a great judge of basketball, talent, everything like that." He goes, "We need a center. Who would you pick?" He said, "Michael Jordan. You draft Michael Jordan." He said, "Oh, I don't think you understand me. We need a center." He goes, at that point, he answers the phone, he said, "Then you play him at fucking center then. Michael Jordan is the person you play." So,
And we all know who Bobby
they all
Knight is.
picked, we know the Trailblazers picked Sam Bowie. Sam Bowie he's
That
basically
worked out.
Greg Oden 1.0, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I can't believe Portland did it all over again.
Right.
They-
then you got Kevin Durant.
They got Kevin Durant at the 3.
Right.
Who? Insane.
Yeah.
Insane that they did it again. Anyway, so let's roll on. Michael Jordan's the best. Everybody concedes to this. But there's somebody who says that their son's the best. And his other son is lost in China right now. The Ball family. Lonzo Ball, LiAngelo Ball, LeVar Ball. What's going on in the Ball family?
We're talking about a 3-star recruit, right? Not a 4-star recruit.
He's got a full ride to UCLA.
Okay, a 3-star recruit. He's not Lonzo. He's not LaMelo. He's LiAngelo. That's just, there's too many lows going on there. Either way, I hope it wasn't him. I hope he just kind of got in with the wrong crowd and somebody decided it would be cool to steal probably some knockoff Louis Vuitton sunglasses, because we all know China will give you some knockoffs.
Well, they were actually at the hotel that they were at was a luxury hotel.
Good.
They were
Give
staying
me the
at.
details.
So it was an actual true Louis Vuitton store. So
Okay.
another thing that they did
Anybody with
do,
no style.
another thing that they did do is they went to the hotel and they questioned all the athletes with the coaches not in the room.
Did somebody snitch on him?
So what happened was they determined that it was the 3 players and Leandro was one of those.
Snitches
Now,
get stitches.
With that being said, my opinion on that is Leandro, he's got money, right? He's got the
Don't
notoriety,
need to-
he's got
don't
the
need to
fame.
steal.
He don't need to steal.
Ain't he driving
But
like
I
a
think
Ferrari
what he,
already?
no, that's LaMelo.
Oh.
With Leandro, my personal opinion of what he did was he got in, like you said, with the wrong crowd. And I think what he did was try to fit in with that crowd. You know how you're like that kid, you know, you don't want to
Yeah.
do something, but you do it because of who you're with to
That
try
he's
to.
dumber than I
you know,
thought. If
so,
that's what
I
it
think
is.
that's
He should be
I think
the-
that's the case, but other than that, I don't think it's a big deal. You know,
No.
even though the rules and laws and
Here's the
everything in
deal.
China
What
are
if
different,
they
he's
get-
facing 3 to 10.
What if he gets caught in China?
He's facing 3 to 10 over there for that.
Worst
Here's
places
the
to
deal.
steal from.
LeVar, if you're gonna sacrifice one son to the law, might as well be the 3-star recruit. Just saying.
We're talking about, so far, we're talking about LiAngelo Ball. Let's talk about Lonzo Ball. How he got done by Kyrie Irving recently.
Lonzo, he's just not
He's
not
not
that
there yet.
aggressive.
He's not there yet.
He's just not.
Is he a product of AAU basketball? That running
I don't
gun,
know, I
push
don't
it
know
up
if
the
he's
court.
a product of AAU basketball or if he's a product of a gifted, given everything child type of basketball to where everyone tells you you're so great, you're so awesome.
It
and you
doesn't look
actually
like
share the court.
he's ever had to defend somebody like that.
Well, Lonzo, he doesn't have that dog in him. You know, he doesn't have that aggressive.
Like he's never been in
It's
that
not
type of
there.
fight.
Like he's like he's never been in that type of fight. You know, he's never been in that gritty, grab you MMA style fight. He's only been in like the karate point system fight.
Yes,
you
correct.
know? So
That AAU system.
All right, this is where I'm gonna come with Lonzo. Lonzo right now is being shown up because his father has went off and riled up the entire NBA about his son. Okay. Here's the deal. It hasn't come out of him yet, but that dog that you're referring to is eventually gonna come out. You can only poke a dog so many times before it fights back. Okay.
Yeah.
He's young. He's tall, but he looks skinny. He doesn't even look like an NBA player at this point. Give it time. I'm telling you right now, Lonzo is eventually going to be the face of the Lakers.
I
It's
agree.
going to
I
happen.
agree.
At this point, it hasn't happened yet. It's because he's young and everybody's got their claws out coming at him.
I agree
Yeah.
only if
Yeah.
he gets it.
He's gonna get
If
it.
he gets
He's
it,
gonna get it.
He's gonna
He's
be
gonna
fine.
get it.
He's gonna be fine.
Unfortunately, he's
But-
he's dealing with shock.
But you need to throw the
He-
hell out of those Jason Kidd comparisons right now. You know, they need.
No
they
doubt,
need to
no
go.
doubt, no doubt.
They
And
need
I,
to go.
I think he'll get there.
So-
It's gotta. There's a level of comfort that he hasn't reached
But
yet.
if you
And
want
he-
to compare,
And it's night after
compare
night he's
Lonzo,
playing with somebody acting like they're ready to kill him.
okay, look at Ben Simmons right now. Ben Simmons
Dog.
is dog, killing it, right?
Dog.
Right.
Dude from I can't even. How do you say his last
Jason
name?
Tatum.
No, from
Milwaukee.
yeah, the last name. You know the Greek freak. Say his last name. Yeah, okay.
The Greek
Say his
freak,
la-
the Greek
Yeah,
freak.
I know the
Yeah.
Greek freak. He's
Giannis.
yeah, whatever his name. The last name is what catches me. He is a woohoo.
Well, that's what we're. You got Giannis. Giannis is gonna take place of Jordan. That's for sure.
Wow.
Not Jordan. I meant LeBron. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I meant
Okay.
LeBron. He's gonna be the next.
More
you know,
than Anthony
to the throne.
Davis.
To the throne. Yeah, Anthony Davis too injury prone. Right. And Giannis is the only one who has that length, that
What does
body
Bledsoe
style.
do to that offense? Bledsoe is one of the best pick and roll offensive
Bledsoe's
players in
also
the
a
league.
great defender.
Right.
All right. So Delly's
He gets
minutes.
dirty.
Delly's minutes
Are gone.
are gone.
They're gone.
You know, he's gonna see 3-4 minutes a game now.
Go back to Cleveland.
Does he go back to Cleveland
I hope.
as a veteran's minimum?
Yeah, I mean, I would bring him back to Cleveland at that veterans minimum. I mean, that 3-year, $45 million contract that he signed in
So
Milwaukee.
they take a
It
buyout.
gives Cleveland a
begin with.
grit that they ain't had.
Right.
They don't
Well,
have
if
a
you
defensive
add
grit.
Delly to that, along with Jay Crowder, And Amon Shumpert is showing a little.
Shumpert's okay.
Shumpert's showing a little. He's showing a little bit of grit this year. But anyways, Giannis, he's the next thing to the throne. But we're talking about go back to Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball, Markelle Fultz is. God.
By the way, I looked up his free throws.
Have you seen this guy shoot a free throw?
It's horrible.
Like, what are you doing?
I haven't seen anything that horrible.
Who's worse, him or Shaq?
It looks like you first hand a ball to a child and like tell him to throw it at
Yeah, looks like he's shooting on a play school hoop.
Right. Yeah. But with that being said, you got Ben Simmons who's going to be the rookie running for the rookie of the year. Markelle Fultz ain't even playing; he's injured. Lonzo Ball, he's like Stephen A. Smith said earlier, like he's the softest rookie that he has ever seen, and I agree 100% with him. 100%.
Did you see him his stuff against the Celtics?
Oh yeah, by Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Threw it into the stands. But anyways, Ben Simmons is going to be rookie of the year. That guy he's a real deal.
Yeah,
Right.
So from there, we seen LA with Lonzo Ball play the Celtics.
No.
Kyrie's play where he crossed over the entire team.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like it.
That was amazing.
I've seen Iverson, everybody's seen it, cross over Jordan.
Right.
I've seen Jason Williams, white chocolate, cross it,
With
everybody
elbow
over.
pads.
The crossovers that I was just yelling at the TV the other day. He crossed over the entire Los Angeles
The thing
Lakers.
with that play though is he did a good crossover.
He
but
lost
he lost the handle, and the LA team, didn't go after the ball.
No.
As it dribbled across
They
the
were
free throw line and
scared.
everything else, right? So Kyrie still, throwing his hands in there, and you got Brook Lopez and who? Lonzo Ball. Right? Does it right to the left, back to the hole, layup, the whole bench and the whole stadium goes crazy. His handles are insane.
Is Kyrie, I'm not going to say overall, the Eastern Conference MVP at this point?
At this point,
yeah.
Does he have something to prove? He said he's
he's
going to be
He's
the man.
playing inspired.
He's got
He
plenty
is
to prove.
playing to make sure Boston takes the #1 seed, and I want to see the Cavs and the Celtics in the playoffs.
Marcus Smart is Dellavedova to Boston as he was to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Does all the little things to where
little unnotable things that.
unnotable things like the hustle points.
Oh, yeah.
Hustle points.
Oh, yeah.
And diving after the ball, getting in there, the nitty gritty stuff that Dellavedova did for Cleveland. That Cleveland don't have no more. That Boston has now, Marcus Smart.
Yeah. I think I'm really willing. The way things are going at this point, I'm willing to say that Boston will be the #1 seed in the East.
Does Isaiah Thomas, when he comes back,
I hope.
does he make the
I
Cavs?
know what you're saying, but I
viable?
hope he is who he was before, because the
I
Cavs
think-
are going to need it. Because Rose and Wade aren't what they used to be, and they need to score.
The Cavs are
They need
viable
defense
now.
other than Crowder. Oh my goodness.
The Cavs are viable now without.
They'll be
IT.
fine. Once they start to gel. They haven't gelled yet. And it takes
IT's
every
not going
team
to come
a
back
while.
to like January, February, right, at the latest.
Okay.
But when he does come back, LeBron always talks about, like, this is the first time he's had 6 or 7 players new that are on his team, all right, since his first year in Miami when he never played with any of those guys on that roster. So when you're bringing all these guys together, and then you got your one main acquisition that still hasn't even played yet, along with the other guys, then you got to incorporate that. That's going to be a transition period that hopefully only takes that 2 months leading into April, May, and into the playoffs. But if IT comes back, we can't like hold him up as, like, oh, he's
So
gonna
every other podcast, every other show on ESPN says Cavs, Golden State in the finals. Both their records aren't that great right now. Let's be that one show, that one podcast who thinks outside the box. Give me your pick, other than the Cavs, other than the Warriors, who has a chance to shake this thing up.
San Antonio and Boston.
If I had to pick anybody other than the Warriors, it'd be the Thunder. And if I had to pick anybody other than the Cavs, it'd be
The
Boston.
Thunder their record in the West right now is 0-5.
Thunder.
So they're also 0-6 when Russell Westbrook doesn't have a triple double.
The Thunder.
But they're 4-6 altogether. I would pick the Thunder because they have
It's his picks.
they have Paul
Let him-
George. They have
It's
Paul
his
George,
pick.
but they also have that Russell Westbrook.
Westbrook's
What
a dog.
other player in the league has that?
Go look in Houston.
Has that? Houston, are you kidding me?
Harden? Yeah.
Harden don't have
Harden's
what Westbrook has.
Dog, man.
Harden does not have that nitty gritty come at you, get up in your face, punch you in the mouth mentality as Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
All right.
Harden. I won't argue with you because I like Westbrook better than Harden. But as far as coming out and just scoring and being a dog, he's
my comment for you, Clint, former point guard, is James Harden's Euro step
The best of all time?
undefendable with the rules of the NBA now?
It's undefendable.
How do you defend it with the way the rules are set up?
You know how you defend it? You have Giannis on every single team in the NBA. That's how you defend it. If you got length on Harden,
say his last name.
Antetokounmpo.
So my point is, if you watch the Rockets, how many times does Harden get to the line? In the playoffs, he was getting to the line 20 times a game.
Tons. I mean, you're looking at probably on an average, and I don't know these stats, probably 13 times a game.
So, from here, who's your pick, Brandon, as far as who's going to win it other than the Cavs and the Golden State Warriors?
I already told you mine. I interrupted. It's going to be Boston and San Antonio. That
reminds me of San Antonio, Detroit, like that boring.
Dude, with Kyrie in Boston, this time around it'll be okay, man. That's it. One thing I want to say about NBA, because we're gonna end up having to cut for a different segment here in a second, but is it just me, or does Kristaps Porzingis, and I know this is completely off subject, but does he remind anybody else of like a created player, like in a video game?
Yeah.
Like he looks like he's like this big. He shoots 3-pointers from outside.
He even looks like a creative player on the video game.
It's just freaking weird to watch. I know this was completely off subject, but I wanted to get it in before we ended up having to go.
He is the Lithuanian unicorn.
He's weird to watch.
He hasn't even developed yet.
He's weird to watch. And is it just me, or do the Knicks seem better now that Melo's gone?
Well, yeah, because they don't have to worry about feeding somebody for 20 shots.
The defense seems better.
And they're playing defense.
They're not playing that ISO ball.
They're actually playing ball.
It looked like
or are they better because Jackson's gone?
It had nothing to do with Jackson. We're talking like a court.
Not only is Jackson gone, but we're going to be gone. We'll see you next week. This is us at 3 Point View. Talk to you guys later. Hey guys, thanks for checking us out here at 3 Point View, and don't forget to watch us next week.
Don't forget to subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the notification bell.
Or check us out on our Instagram and Twitter at 3 Point View.
Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks for checking us out here at 3 Point View, and don't forget to watch us next week.
Don't forget to subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the notification bell.
Or check us out on our Instagram and Twitter at 3 Point View.
Thank you.